Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Golden Bachelorette Joan Vassos had to relearn love. The first ever Golden Bachelorette, Joan Vassos, admitted that she had to relearn how to be in love. She was brokenhearted when her husband of over 30 years passed away. That being said, there was a lot to digest when she was faced with 24 men vying for her heart. So how did she handle it, and moreover, how did she open her heart back up? Keep reading for more details. Joan Vassos had to relearn love. When Joan Vassos lost the love of her life in 2021, it was the worst devastation imaginable. John was her lifeline for 32 years, and the thought of ever dating again clearly was not on her mind. She then went on to be a contestant on the premiere season of The Golden Bachelor with Jerry Turner. The two had an amazing connection, and they did look amazing together. However, Joan's family came first, and her daughter needed her, so she left the possibility of love behind. He ended up marrying Theresa Nist, but they split after just 3 months. Now Joan is the first Golden Bachelorette, and men are head over heels for her. It is the 5th week of the show, and she has some really strong connections with the remaining gents. Some of them are Jordan Heller, Jonathan Roan, and Chalk Chapel. They have swept her off of her feet, especially Chalk. This has been hard for Joan, as she still has John on her mind, but as she told us weekly, she had to relearn how to fall in love. It was not easy, and that was where the show's psychiatrist came in handy. Joan Vassos did not shy away from getting help to deal with her emotions regarding her late husband. Admittedly, she felt like she was being unfaithful. Many times, she thought she was ready to go all in, and then she found herself holding back. Joan Vassos stepped into the spotlight on ABC's The Golden Bachelor like a breath of fresh air. The show, which captured parts by showcasing the stories of older individuals finding love again, brought Joan to the forefront. Her story wasn't just one of love, it was a narrative of rediscovery, healing, and learning to open her heart once again. A widow and a mother, Joan's journey was more than just a search for romance. It was about relearning how to love after life had thrown her some of its toughest challenges. A life of love and loss. Joan's life before The Golden Bachelor was one of devotion to family. Married for over 3 decades to the love of her life, she knew what it meant to be deeply in love. Her husband, who was her rock and her partner in everything, passed away several years ago, leaving her in a sea of grief. It was a loss that shook her to the core. Friends and family could provide comfort, but nothing could replace the void left behind by the man she built a life with. In the wake of her husband's passing, Joan focused on her family, particularly her children and grandchildren. Being a grandmother brought her joy, and for years she poured her energy into being there for them. But even with the love of her family surrounding her, there was something missing, a part of herself that had been closed off, perhaps out of fear or simply because she believed her days of romantic love were behind her. However, Joan knew that her late husband would want her to find happiness again. That realization wasn't immediate, it took time. She wrestled with the idea of moving on, of dating again. Was it even possible to love after losing the one person you'd shared everything with? Could she open her heart to someone else? Upping and leaving. Joan Vassos genuinely liked all of the men that came onto the show. Therefore, every rose ceremony, she wanted to leave the series. It broke her to have to hurt anyone, but many of the men have said that the friendships they made in the mansion have made it well worth it. As for what she was looking for, the Golden Bachelorette needed a fixer. That was what John was, and she saw that in Chalk Chapel. She learned a lot about him and how he did all he could to help his late wife when she fell ill. Joan's journey is not over just yet, and she still has hometown visits. She will meet her suitors' families and learn even more about them. Until then, she is trying to live in the moment while honoring herself and John. Finally, Joan is proving that age is just a number when it comes to love. She is breaking the stigma and hopefully finding her happy ending. Stepping outside her comfort zone. When Joan's daughter encouraged her to apply for the Golden Bachelor, she hesitated. Dating in her 60s was a foreign concept, especially in such a public setting. Reality TV wasn't something she ever imagined herself participating in. Yet, deep down, Joan recognized that this opportunity could be a chance to step outside of her comfort zone and perhaps relearn what it meant to love. The decision wasn't easy. Joan battled doubts. Would she feel guilty for seeking love again? Could she honor her late husband's memory while opening her heart to someone new? But after much soul-searching, she decided that she deserved to explore this new chapter in her life. Her late husband had always encouraged her to embrace life fully, and she knew he would support her pursuit of happiness. Joan's choice to be on The Golden Bachelor was not just about finding love, but about finding herself again. It was about recognizing that while the love of her life was gone, her capacity to love hadn't disappeared. It had just been dormant, waiting for the right time to be reignited. The challenge of relearning love, for Joan, relearning how to love, wasn't simply about finding a new romantic partner. It was about overcoming the fears and insecurities that come with aging, loss, and the changing landscape of relationships. Dating at a younger age is filled with excitement, energy, and sometimes naivety. But dating later in life, after experiencing the profound joy and sorrow that comes with long-term love, is a different kind of challenge. The emotional walls she had built over the years were high. They weren't just a defense mechanism, they were a form of self-preservation. Joan had spent years protecting her heart, unsure if she could ever risk the pain of loss again. But she also knew that those walls, while protective, were limiting her ability to experience the full spectrum of emotions and connections that life still had to offer. Learning to love again for Joan meant slowly dismantling those walls. It wasn't something that happened overnight. It took moments of vulnerability like the one she shared on the show, where she spoke openly about her late husband, her grief, and her fears. It took courage to allow herself to be seen, not just by potential partners, but by the world. Through the process, Joan discovered that while love in her 60s was different from the love she experienced in her younger years, it was no less real or meaningful. If anything, it was deeper, rooted in a shared understanding of life's ups and downs. Love at this stage of life wasn't about youthful infatuation. It was about companionship, mutual respect, and the comfort of knowing that you could still find someone who understood you, scars and all. The importance of self-love. One of the most powerful lessons Joan learned on her journey was the importance of self-love. After years of focusing on her family and being there for others, she realized that it was equally important to take care of herself. Self-love wasn't just about treating herself to moments of relaxation or indulgence, but about giving herself permission to live fully, to seek out new experiences, and to open her heart again. Joan's experience on The Golden Bachelor wasn't just about finding love with someone new. It was about rediscovering her own worth and capacity for happiness. She had spent so many years believing that her chance at love had passed, that she forgot the truth that love doesn't have an expiration date. Her journey reminded her that she was still deserving of love in all its forms: romantic, familial, and most importantly, self-love. A new chapter. Joan's time on The Golden Bachelor may have started as an adventure into the unknown, but it ended as a transformative experience. She relearned how to trust, how to be vulnerable, and most importantly, how to open her heart again. The connections she made on the show, both with the other contestants and with the man she shared her dates with, were a testament to the fact that love isn't confined by age. Whether or not Joan found lasting love on the show, her journey was a victory in itself. She had proven to herself that it was never too late to love again, to grow, and to embrace the beauty of new beginnings. Joan's story on The Golden Bachelor wasn't just about finding a new partner. It was about relearning love in all its complexities and realizing that the heart, no matter how weathered, is always capable of healing and opening up to new possibilities. Joan Vassos may have entered The Golden Bachelor as a widow and grandmother, but she left as a woman who had rediscovered her power to love, both herself and the world around her.